What's good, people? This is Mad Mike Sports here to give you guys another video. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and help your boy hit 10K. Y'all probably know why I'm doing that shit. Well, I'm feeling kind of slow today. Like somebody else I know. Feeling real slow, kind of off. I don't think I have it all. Like somebody else I already know. And if you guys haven't already, if y'all haven't already, read the title of this video. Just read it. Somebody type. And you probably get it. But if you don't worry about it. This particular video has more to do with the salary cap than it has to do with really has to do with where the contracts and the salary cap and where we keep telling people over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. The great one, Mad Mike, has been telling y'all for the past 2 years that teams do not want to pay guys $50 million for 5 years, okay? That's more detrimental than giving a guy $100 million in the first 2 years. In the first 3 years, $150 million in the first 2 years. That is more detrimental to a team and an organization than it is giving those guys $50 million over the course of 4 to 5 years, 6 years. If you're looking at a team like the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to explain to you. Let's just keep it real. What would you rather have as a person, okay? As a person, would you rather have $50 million every single year as a individual, or would you rather have $400 million in 1 year? This is a serious question. Serious question. As a person, would you rather have the $300 million up front, or would you rather have the money, $300 million up front? I just want to see where everybody's head is at when it comes down to this, because I think this is really going to be interesting to see what everybody else thinks. Would you want $50 million 1 year, $50 million second year, $50 million the third year, $50 million? Right, so that's $50 million for 6 years straight. Okay? Would you rather have that, or would you rather have the $300 million up front? 50 million every year, 50 million every year. So we got two people that said 50 million every year. $400 right now because the dollar only increases in value. So for $4 million, $400 million is now. It's better. So we got two people that said $50 million a year. And the reason why I'm highlighting this and these two particular players, one player decided that, I want a fully guaranteed contract. And as a player, I think the mindset needs to shift. And I explained this last night on Cooler Talks that if you're going to be doing these types of things, if you're going to be negotiating contracts, you got to understand in the long term, it's best to get that $100 million up front. It's better to get that $200-300 million up front. The reason why I say this is because we're talking about as a business, right? For the NFL, the best thing for these guys to do, especially for quarterbacks, is to focus on giving this guy his $150 million in the first 2 years of a deal, rather than get stuck with a contract, and that contract is a lot shorter, giving him that $150 million. And two, the contract with the shorter, you can bounce back from them a lot quicker than you can with a contract that is 2-3 years. Yeah, the money is about the same, but when you look at it, if you got paying a guy $200 million for $4 million at $50 million a year, the problem with that as an organization, you're stuck with paying it. Even if this guy doesn't, let's say this guy gets hurt, he tears ACL, and he doesn't play another down for that team. Guess what? You're stuck with it. You're stuck with that contract for the next 4 years. So your chances of building a team and bringing in another quarterback or bringing in another player has severely been impacted, because guess what? You're financially obligated to pass this guy $50 million for the next 2 years after he's done got hurt in the second year. This is what owners don't want to do. They do not want to continuously playing football players that are no longer an asset to the organization. So many guys have been hurt, injured, and franchises are paying more money. I won't say more money, but they're paying a lot of money to players who are no longer even in the NFL. So guys are getting paid millions and millions of dollars just to sit at home and eat burritos and get fat. We see a guy in Jamarcus Russell. Jamarcus Russell played, 3-4 years in the NFL? But the dude got $70-something million, $50-something million. One of the biggest contracts, rookie contracts, probably wasn't that long. Forgot exactly what the number, but he got paid $20+ million just for pretty much doing nothing. So guys are signing, organizations and owners are signing checks to people who are no longer in the NFL. They're no longer on the football field. They're no longer an asset to these teams anymore. And you paying millions of dollars to guys who no longer play. That's the problem. This is what players don't want to hear. Players don't want to hear. Fans don't want to hear it. Let's say Lamar Jackson. Let's just say, for argument's sake, let's just say Kyler Murray at this point. Or let's just say a guy like Hendon Hooker. You know what I'm saying? If Henry Hooker signs a $300 million contract, he gets hurt his rookie year with the old contract, where quarterbacks are guaranteed $50 million without incentives. Now, incentives is something new that they really just brought in, and it really comes from baseball. A lot of these baseball contracts aren't as big as they seem. It's $300 million as a total, but in actuality is really about a 2 to 3, sometimes 4-year deal, but it's all based on incentives. If you hit 40 home runs, you have 100 something RBIs, this is what your total could be when it comes down. And this is what the NFL has adopted. And guys like Lamar Jackson, they don't want to hear this type of stuff. So it's best for the game to be able to, one, they got to be able to further the, like, a lot of people don't understand this, but TV contracts mean everything. That's how organizations make their money on TV contracts. That's you and I talking football, watching football on the NFL ticket and all this type of stuff, all these different markets. That's how they end up making money, plus the revenue as far as radios and all this podcasts and jersey sales. That's how they end up making their money. So if they don't have players to be able to constantly come in, if a guy like a Lamar end up getting hurt, guess what? They won't make no money. So they'll be giving money out of their own pocket. Why? They'll be giving their money out of their own pocket for an organization or a team that's not winning. So you'll be financially obligated to give somebody $200 million, and he's no longer an asset to the team. You're losing money as an organization. And when you lose money as an organization, these are the things that happen. You get relocated. We saw it with Los Angeles. We saw it with the Rams and the Chargers. We saw it with Oakland. Why? Because teams are no longer winning, and the players that they're paying are no longer an asset. These players suck their ass. So this is another aspect of the game that fans don't want to hear about, and a lot of former players don't care about. Why? Because all they focusing on is, I gotta get mine, you gotta get yours, I gotta get mine, you gotta get yours. And that's all fine and dandy, but it's a business at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to this particular subject matter, and why I think Lamar Jackson is a fucking moron, is because he's still looking at the NFL as averages. And I spoke about this last night. If you look at the contracts and averages instead of guaranteed money, that's where you lose out. Lamar Jackson is looking at contracts as averages. He's looking at the averages instead of saying, if I just get $120 million up front and I play those first 2 to 3 years, I can go back to the negotiating table and negotiate another deal for about $80 to $100 million. And guess what? It doesn't cost the organization 3, 4, 5 years after you done got, for one, after Lamar done hit his peak, he started decline. Guess what? They don't have to pay that quarterback $50 million a year. That salary goes all the way down to somewhere in between $25 to $35 million for a quarterback that's not in his prime. And this is where a lot of players just aren't getting it. They're looking at these contracts as averages instead of looking at it in guaranteed money. This is why you need an agent to be able to tell you these things, because if you're looking at the contracts as averages, you're going to forever be looking at the other guy what this guy got, what that guy got. This guy getting $60 million. But yeah, he's only getting $60 million a year. He's only getting $60 million for 2 years. But if you sign a contract that is worth $150 million or $170 million, and you get that same exact number, 120 in 2 years versus those 5 years, guess who wins? The guy would have sold a contract with the same numbers. So it really don't matter how many years you play, you still got that $120 million. Some players don't even make $100 million in their whole career. So if you can get $100 million in 2 years, bro, you already won. And this is why guys like, again, this is another reason why you need an agent to break these things down. So many players get watching, and they watch everybody else. They're watching everybody else, and they say, oh, this guy getting $50 million. Oh, that's all cool, but I got my $100 million in 2 years. I got my $100 million, $175 million. This man got, like I said, this man had the exact same thing. Let me tell you, this is why, again, this is another reason why I think Lamar's a fucking moron, because he got more than what Jalen Hurts got. Okay? Jalen Hurts, this guy is getting paid more, and he getting paid less than what Lamar was offered. He's getting paid less than what Lamar was offered, and this guy sitting up here upset because he didn't get a fully guaranteed contract. If Lamar was smart, I'll take that deal. If you truly believe in your ability, I'm taking that $177 million and I'm playing for the next 2 years for Baltimore. And then after that second year, guess what I'm doing? I'm becoming a free agent. I'm going right back into the market so I can get another big contract. Why? Because teams are going to always be in need of a quarterback. But when you got guys like Lamar Jackson who are only searching for that one big payday, he don't think long term. Again, you got to be able to think long term. If you truly are an elite quarterback, you don't worry about getting 4 or 5 years with guaranteed money. Why? Because I can get that money from anybody. I can get that money from anybody, any team, especially in this league. If a guy like Daniel Jones can get $40 million a year and $120 million guaranteed, I'm quite sure that Lamar can get another contract for about at least $100 million after he's done with that Baltimore Ravens. But again, this is why Lamar is a fucking idiot, because he's not thinking clearly. He's emotional. I'm Lamar Jackson. I'm quote unquote an elite quarterback, and that's arguable whether or not you believe it is, but that's arguable. Whether or not you believe he's an elite quarterback. But if you are and you believe in your ability, you're not worried about 3, 4, 5th, the 5th year of that contract, the 6th year of that contract, the 7th year of that contract. You're not worried about that. Why? Because even if they don't give it to me, I'm Lamar Jackson. I'm going to get it somewhere else. So take Baltimore for what they give you after those 3 years or 4 years, whatever the length of the contract is, and go somewhere and get another $100 million contract. We see this time and time again. We see it with the Rams. We see it time and time again where other quarterbacks go to other teams, get their bag, and guess what? They still get their money. So, Eagle Jack, playing Lamar is the dumbest thing an organization could ever do, even if Ritter isn't the guy. it's still better than being locked in a horrible situation for years to come. And like I said, that's the thing. Organizations do not want to be locked in contracts of 3+ years. It costs them money. A lot of people don't understand that. All right, NFL get paid in quarters. And when you're an organization, you get paid in quarters. Okay, quarter of a year, quarter of a year, quarter of a year. You get paid in quarters. So you're not gonna always have $50 million, $100 million right off the bat. $50 million every single year. Some of these organizations have businesses elsewhere, and sometimes those businesses that make them their money don't do as quite as well. So guess what? Some of that money get tied up, and they have to go in their own pockets to pay their teams. So again, man, it's all about business and understanding business aspect of it. And a lot of players don't want to hear this. A lot of fans and the players don't want to hear that. So he's only John. That's it. He's only caught up in the short term thinking. But if you thinking long term, you can still get that 300 million, bro. Stop being so anal about I want my 300 million now. They're willing to give you that, but you got to play the game. You got to be able to play the game. Instead of saying, all right, I want my 300 million right now, say, look, all right, I'll take the 175. I'll take the 175 right now, but in year 4, let's go back to the negotiating table, or let's go to another team so I can get that 125. Guess what? You got $300 million. Even if it's not with Baltimore. It took you, 3 more years to get that 125? It's a win, bro. But you're so in your feelings about not getting what you believe is worth right now that you're not thinking long term, bro. Gotta be able to think long term. So again, all you can see Shannon Sharp, he wanna use common sense now. Now he wanna use common sense. See that shit? This is what we're talking about. All these former NFL players, they now they want to start using common sense. Now they want to start using common sense. It's hilarious. We've been telling you guys this. He's a fucking idiot for not taking it. You're never going to see a contract. There's not many contracts. Outside of word of mouth, who gives you 100 and let's be real. Where in the world they gonna give you where in the world are you gonna go get 30 something million? What's with the Sun contract? Where are you gonna get that all in advance and you haven't even done the work yet? Who the hell gonna give you $230 million for work you have yet to do? Let's keep that real. Where in the fuck are you gonna get that much money for shit you have not even done yet? I'll wait. Where are you gonna get $236 million up front for work you've yet to do? Anything can happen. Anything can happen to you at any given moment, but guess what? You've already given it. It's common sense, people. And a lot of people be so emotional and tied up with like, oh, they didn't give me everything that I wanted. They didn't give me everything that I needed. You're so emotional, you're not thinking clearly. Nobody's gonna give you a fully guaranteed contract any fucking where. When you go to work, you make $15, $20 an hour, guess what? Even with that $15, $20 an hour, guess what? You gotta pay taxes, so you're not even gonna see the whole $20 an hour. Gotta stop being emotional and thinking clearly. This is where people look, bro. You gotta stop. Like I said, this is why Lamar's a fucking moron. Nobody's gonna give you fully guaranteed anything. There's no such thing as fully guaranteed any fucking thing. You gotta be able to work for it, and you gotta be patient. At the end of the year, at the end of the year, we had this thing called tax returns. Excuse me. We had this thing called tax returns. At the beginning of the year, everything that they've taken out of our team, out of our checks, we get it right back at the beginning of the year. See how that works? It's called patience. It's called patience. You're gonna eventually get that money back. You're gonna eventually get that money back. But if you're patient, you understand that. So, like I said, I think when it comes down, and I'll take some questions from this point out, but this is something that I had to get off because we're not going to keep doing this. And like I said, you think short term, you're going to get short results. Tell people this all the time. If you think short term, you're going to get short results. You're going to come up short. Gotta think long term. You gotta be able to think long term. You gotta be able to adjust your way of thinking if you're gonna make long money. Billionaires think about long term. They don't think about getting that money immediately. This is one thing that billionaires and millionaires know. If you think short term, you're gonna screw yourself over. But if you think long term, I'm gonna have this guy and this guy and this guy on my turn on my let's just say music industry. I'm gonna have this guy on my label. I'm gonna have this type of guy on this label. I'm gonna have this. You got different types of genres on that one label. Why? Because you're not just focusing on rap. You just think you're focusing on country music. You're thinking on rock. You're thinking about gospel. All these types of aspects. Gotta think long term when it comes down to making money. And this is why everybody always gets screwed up. And they get in their feelings because they're not thinking long term. And like I said, it is Cleveland's fault. Cleveland got desperate and they looking like fucking morons because guess what? They are stuck in that contract and they can't pay nobody else and they losing a lot of players. And I got to give a shout out to Chris Smith who passed away. So rest in peace, football linebacker. So shout out to him, man, and his family. It's hard. It's definitely if Lamar has a bad season, it will be because we didn't. But look, as far as Lamar, this is another reason why I say he's a complete moron. It's because now Lamar in a position where he put so much pressure on himself. Lamar put so much pressure on himself, he has to produce. They don't know ifs, ands, or buts about it. Lamar has to produce now because if he doesn't produce and he doesn't live up to the numbers that he say he won't, he gonna look the numbers go down for him. So right now, whatever offer that's on the table for the Ravens, he has no choice but to take it now. He has no freaking choice but to take it. Why? Because he's going to end up looking like an idiot. Lamar put so much pressure on himself, crying, bitching, and moaning over money. Now you have to produce. One of the things that people don't even, people really don't think about, and a lot of players don't think about, is that, yeah, you got that contract, yeah, you got that big time contract, but if you don't live up to it, if you don't surpass, you have to keep up that quality of standard. You have to keep up that quality of play. You have to, every single year when you're getting paid $50 million, guess what? You got to put up Aaron Rodgers numbers. You got to put up Matt Ryan numbers. You got to pull up Tom Brady, all these guys. You got to have 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, less than 10 interceptions. You got to do that every single year now. And injuries, it don't matter. It don't matter if you're injured now. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares about you being injured. Nobody cares anything about that. About you sore. Nobody cares about that. You better find a way to get to practice. You better find a way to play. Nobody cares about you being injured. Nobody cares about you being 35. I need you to get those numbers. I need you to lead us to a Super Bowl. I need you to win a Super Bowl. I need you to win a Super Bowl every year if you're getting paid $50 million a year. So you don't put a major, and I'm talking about a major target on your back. Not only is a target on your back as far as the expectations is concerned, now it's a target on your back in the NFL. Because now you got players looking at you. They trying to take you out because they know if you go down, they win. So you become a major, and I'm talking about a major target for players and other teams. It's a major problem. Like I said, incentive-based contract is going to be the new norm. And basically what that means, a lot of teams are protecting themselves from injuries. They'll give you a couple $100 million, like they said, they'll give you $100 million as a quarterback. But that second $100 million is going to be incentive-based. Meaning you got to have a certain amount of numbers. You got to have a certain amount of games played. So if you do play X amount of games, this is what the total is going to be. So even the contract with Jalen Hurts is really like a $126 million deal, something like that. But with the injury incentives, it's up to 176. So it's really like $100 million. $100 million, so he's getting $51 million per year. And then if Jalen Hurts get hurt, the Philadelphia Eagles win. Why? Because they don't have to pay him $50 million if he get hurt again. So it works for both. It works for both. Now I want to talk about the aspect of how much money is Lamar. It's about the same. Exactly. Hold on. Let me get those numbers for you. I actually did a video, so if y'all want to check that out on that. But the deal with that, but the deal was that, all right, so this is just from Sarah Ellison. She's a Ravens reporter. The total value for Jalen Hurts is $255. The Lamar Jackson is $250. The full guaranteed at signing for Jalen Hurts is $110, so it's not $120. So the guaranteed is $110. So it's really a contract is about $50 something million a year for the first 2 years. And then for Lamar Jackson, it's 133 fully guaranteed. So this is another reason why I say Lamar Jackson is a fucking idiot. Because you got more fully guaranteed money than Jalen Hurts, even though Jalen Hurts' contract in itself was a history-making contract. Why? Because he's the highest paid average player per year. But when you look at the total guaranteed, he didn't get as much guaranteed money as Lamar Jackson. Now the total guaranteed, and this is where Lamar has a problem. It's the total guaranteed. Jalen Hurts has 179 total guaranteed, and Lamar Jackson has $200 million total guaranteed. But Lamar's is based on injuries. Again, everything is based on injuries. This is what owners are saying. It's based on injuries. If you play, you can get up to $200 million. If you play. That's where the injury guarantees, the injury incentives kick in. So if you stay healthy, Lamar can get $200 million. If Jalen stays healthy, he gets $179. But Lamar has to stay healthy. Jalen has to stay healthy. But it's the perfect way to go about it as an organization. Why? Because you're protecting yourself for guys that actually play. It's like, look, if I'm not gonna pay you $200 if you're not gonna paint my house. I'm paying you $200 to paint this room, and then all of a sudden you end up going into the hospital for whatever reason. Guess what? I'm gonna want my damn money back. Why? Because you ain't painting my damn house. You keep telling me what you gonna do and making all these excuses of why you haven't painted my house, but my house ain't got painted. This is how the owners are looking at it. Lamar keep telling me that he gonna do it and he's this and he's that, but you haven't done it. So it don't matter what you haven't done. It doesn't matter what you're capable of, okay? It's either you gonna do it or you not gonna do it. And if you're not gonna do it, you're not getting my money. This is where players have everything fucked all the way up. It's because they think, and that's pretty much it, K-Styles, a prenup. The injury incentives are pretty much, if shit go wrong, I got to out. You ain't getting it. That's pretty much what it is. So again, I understand from a player why you would be in your feelings, but if you're a businessman and you're just looking at it as common sense, it's like, why the hell would I give you $200 million? I don't even know if you're gonna play every game. That don't make no damn sense. I'm playing LeBron James to play every game. I'm not paying LeBron James to load manage. I'm not playing fucking Draymond Green not to play defense. I'm not paying him to shoot, okay? I'm paying you for a specific reason. If you're not doing it for that specific reason, why the fuck should I give you my money? And like I said, if you understand this as a businessman and get out of your feelings, you will understand that. So again, this is why we try to go over these contracts and kind of not make people understand, but try to help people understand the mentality behind these owners. It's not that these owners don't want to pay them. It's that they want to be able to get the bang for their buck. If I'm going to give you $100 million, you better give me $100 million worth of effort. It's simple as that. I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't think it's shady. I don't think any of that. I don't want to give Lamar Jackson $200 million because I like him. I don't give a fuck about liking you. I'm not giving you $200 million, $300 million because I like him. You're my buddy. Fuck no. Why should I give you $300 million because I like you? This is what got the Atlanta Falcons and many other teams fucked up, because they gave money away to people they like instead of keeping it business. We gave Robert Alford $45 million. Why? Because he was a part of the team. He was just a part of the team. So he was a part of the squad to help us get to this point. So we just gonna award everybody that helped us get there because you helped us get there. No. If you're good, you get it, but I'm not gonna give it to you because I like you. You're gonna have to work for this. So again, this is one of the main reasons I say time and time again, stay out your fucking feelings and understand what business. A lot of people don't stay out of their fucking feelings because they feel like they worth X amount. And at the end of the day, I've always been taught to get what you can get. Don't be greedy, but get what you can get. Try to negotiate the highest price, but when you start being greedy and thinking you better than everybody and everybody out to get you, that's when you end up making mistakes like Lamar. Lamar has made a grave mistake, and he put even more pressure on himself that really didn't need to happen. He didn't need to. Look, he had one of the best deals in the league. The best deal. He was been the highest paid right now. A lot of people think Patrick Mahomes is the highest paid quarterback right now. And he's not. He's the best quarterback, but he's not the highest paid quarterback. And K-Style said this too. It's all about the time that you come in. It's all about the time, because the market changes from year to year. Sometimes the market goes down, sometimes it goes up. Right now, the market is going up for quarterbacks and players. So you got to get what you can get when you can get it. So again, it's about playing the game, knowing what the market is, and knowing what you're worth. If you're a good player, look, you know you can get 2 contracts for $100 million. If you're a good quarterback, you're a good player, I know I can get 2 deals for about $100 million at quarterback. If you're a good quarterback. So you're going to get your money regardless. See, Chuck belongs on the short bus, okay? I love Chuck to death, but we all know Chuck belongs on the short bus. At least he be acting like it. I don't know what Chuck be thinking about. It's like a dealership selling a brand new truck, but keep the tow truck handy the first time those monthly payments are missed. Hey man, that's exactly what we're talking about. Them first monthly payments they missed, come on, bro. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Yeah, you paid first, but look, hey, you keep missing them, guess what? That thing get repossessed. And I got a friend, and we all know him, tow truck shouter himself, LT. So again, man, you gotta be able to understand these things. And a lot of players, and that's why it's important to have the proper representation with you to help you understand these concepts, because a lot of people don't understand these concepts because they're thinking they're thinking overall and they're not thinking long term. And what John St. Clair just said, he's thinking short term and he's not thinking long term. When you think long term, you think, look, I can get $100 million over here at death row. I can get $100 million at death row. Death row will give me $100 million right now. And all I have to do is get them 3 albums. And then after that, after those 3 albums, shit, I can go and make my own label. I can, be CTE. I can be CTE. I have my own label. I can be Shady Records. I have my own label at that. And I have $100 million right there. Having my own. Gotta learn how to play the game. And a lot of people don't know how to play the game because they so in their feelings about not getting that $300 million up front. It's the long term. It's why Jay-Z is labeled one of the most intelligent and brilliant businessmen, because he's thinking long term. Yeah, he built Rockefeller right off the top, but he was thinking long term, and he ended up getting into all types of things because he was thinking long term. What if my record? What if my records aren't selling as good as they were before? What if I'm not the #1 rapper anymore? What if something happens where I can't afford to pay certain things? Well, this is why you got to invest in sports. This is why you got to invest in other companies and stock and bonds and all this type of thing. Because guess what? You're not going to always be the best quarterback. You're not always going to be the best running back. This is why guys like CP are more valuable than anything. Cordero Patterson's still playing, even though this guy hasn't. He came in the league as a wide receiver, but he doing everything except wide receiving. You see what I'm saying? This dude's still making his money doing everything else other than being a wide receiver. And he came in the league as a wide receiver. And this is how you have to have that mentality as a player, as a quarterback. What if I get hurt? I got to think long term. Can I be a backup for the next 5-6 years and get paid $10 million, $15 million a year? Yeah, of course I can. I don't even have to put my body on the line. I don't have to put my body on the line. I don't have to destroy my body. I can still get $50 million paying for 10 years at $10 million a year being a backup. That's still $50 million. But it took you, like again, it's all about being smart and thinking long term, bro. Like I said, so many players don't understand this because they got people in their family, in their circle, thinking we got to get as much as we can right now. That's a drug dealer. Okay? I'm going to just keep it real. That's how dope dealers think. And dope dealers always end up doing something screwed up that get them caught instead of getting what you can get, flip it, and turn it into something. I say this all the time. If you look at Jeezy, if you look at guys like T.I., these guys were known drug dealers in the neighborhood, but they took their drug money and flipped it and turned it into something that was long term. And a lot of these people, even a lot of people too, I'm going to tell you like this. A lot of people that you look as legitimate right now, a lot of these owners, they start off doing dirty stuff, dirty money. But they took that dirty money and turned it into something positive, something long term, something legal. But they was thinking long term. Thinking long term. When you think short term, you get fucked up. When you think long term, you can get past that. But again, gotta be able to think. So I know I'm just saying, bro. Some people. And Chase, look, K-Style, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is a prime example of what I'm talking about. Chase Daniel made $100 million, almost $100 million as a freaking backup. He still got $100 million. Why? Because he was a damn backup. He didn't have to cry. He didn't have to cry for 20 years. He didn't have to cry on Twitter. He made $100 million being a damn backup in the NFL. Come on, bro. Smart. And like I said, and Q Lavender, shit don't last forever. Gotta be able to think long term. What if this ends tomorrow? What if it ends today? How are we gonna end up continuously making money? You gotta be able to invest and think long term. And like I said, a lot of these players, they so worried about what they are now, they're not thinking long term. You putting, like I said, Lamar just putting a lot of unjust trouble and heartache on himself being greedy. All you gotta do is learn how to play the game. Tom Brady made almost $300 million, bro. This dude made $300 million, well over $300 million just in its entirety outside of football. A lot of people don't know Tom Brady only made by like $30 million a year. Tom Brady never made 40. I think he made, if I'm not mistaken, he got close to $40 million in 1 year. And that was it. Tom Brady knew the game. Tom Brady was smart. Tom Brady understood about playing the long game and being a businessman. That's why Tom Brady made as much money he made, because he wasn't worried about getting $50 million a year, being greedy. Just saying, bro. So, like I said before, man, y'all got some questions. I throw that in there. But again, this is one of those topics that a lot of people need to understand and need to learn. This ain't nothing about collusion, okay? The NFL is not colluding against Lamar. How many of black quarterbacks that we gonna continuously see getting paid $150 million plus, and we still up here talking about collusion? Black people need to get away from that bullshit, okay? That's one thing you gotta stop. Not everybody colluding against you. Sometimes you need to grow the fuck up and have a different mindset. And a lot of black people still stuck in the same mindset, so they think everybody colluding against them. Yeah, I said it, because it's the fucking truth. I'ma be real. A black person didn't teach me, man, Mike, nothing about business. It was two white people that taught me about business and learn how to, one, clean up my image, how to protect my image, and how to even make money in the long term. This man taught me about stocks and bonds when I was 19 years old. I didn't learn that shit from black people. Changed my whole perspective. A white person gave me a second chance at life when I was facing 2 felonies. Okay? I was facing 2 felonies over some dumb shit. And a white man said, "You look like a good kid, so I'm gonna give you a second chance, but you better not, I better not see you doing this shit ever. I'm gonna keep an eye on you." It was a white person. So all this black power bullshit and thinking everybody colluding against every black man you see, about 70%, 65% of the damn NFL is black. So I don't want to hear this bullshit about colluding against black people. Yeah, I'm probably gonna turn a lot of black people off for saying that, but I don't give a fuck. It's all about being smart and knowing how to play the game. It's all about understanding and respecting each other as a businessman. And that's why I say, Lamar, play hardball, but understand that hardball is gonna cost you one of these things. Bro, Raymond, bro, I see so many people always, every time a black person don't get something, the first thing that they scream is racism. That shit be killing me, bro. Instead of looking at the situation for what it is, that nothing is guaranteed, nothing is promised. That's another thing. Everybody think because you are going to the NFL or this team drafted you that they have to do something for you. No, the fuck they don't. They don't have to like you. They don't have to draft you because you declared yourself eligible for something. They don't have to pay you. They don't have to name you number one starter if they don't fucking want to. We got so many damn players and people that think that like everything is guaranteed to them because they in the NFL, that they don't have to work for it. So again, and like I said, I know I'm going a little left, but this is why I respect Jesus so much. I respect Jesus so much because everybody saw him at that versus with Gucci Mane, and Gucci Mane was going back to the old ways and screw this and screw that. I put this dude in the dirt and all that. He going back all to that negative stuff. And guess what Jesus did? Hey man, I'm grown. We 45 years old. That's the old ways. I'm thinking bigger picture now. He wasn't thinking about small-minded shit. He's thinking about long-term and being able to pass this shit to his kids and his kids' kids. Gotta grow up at some point. And a lot of these players are only thinking about themselves, but they masquerade around like they looking out for everybody else. Especially guys like that damn Clizown, Robert Griffin III, and I got some choice words for his ass. He deserves that sit your goofy ass down the dark version. And I'll just leave it at that. He need to sit his bullshit. He need to sit the fuck down. Everything in his life look like sugar, but he up here talking about keeping a black man. Man, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Everything in his life is sugar this and sugar that. But he up here talking about black power. Man, sit down, bro. Shut up, okay? Sit down and shut up. You know a bitter man when you see one. And Robert Griffin III is a bitter man. But I like I said, I don't care about Robert Griffin. He was one of the main ones talking about this colluding and he's going against the system and all this bull crap. Like, man, shut up. Going against the system. What fucking system? Arthur Blank don't have to give us his money. Nobody have to give him anything. So, like I said before, the new norm for these contracts, the new norm for the NFL players, you're going to see a lot of deals with the first 2 to 3 years guaranteed money. All the money is going to be front loaded with these quarterbacks, and everybody else is going to fit in between. So this is what you're going to see. You're no longer going to see these contracts being guaranteed for year 4, 5, 6. Not going to see it anymore. It's not safe for the game. It's not good for the games to be able to give quarterbacks and any player, not even just a quarterback, not to give fully guaranteed contracts to guys. Because injuries happen. Players retire, and even after they retire, that money is still guaranteed to them. Gotta be able to preserve. You gotta be able to preserve the game, and a lot of people don't get that. So, like I said, man, I appreciate everybody for joining us, but I'm gonna head out. I got a couple of videos that I'll be dropping soon, so you guys stay tuned for that. The 6-Man K-Styles is tonight. So you guys head over to 6-Man K-Styles, his channel, subscribe there, join his membership. The membership is $199. All right, it's $199 for the Mad Mike membership, 6-Man membership. And that's all I got to say about that. But I had to come on and kind of explain this contract issue with a lot of Falcons fans. And with that being said, your boy Mad Mike is out. Hit that subscribe button. Tell your friend to come chat Falcons football with you. And again, man, if y'all got some NFL, some NBA, even baseball, wrestling questions, bro, look, go to GSN Mad Mike Sports too. Y'all like some wrestling content? I'm throwing it on there. Like, I'm throwing a lot of sports outside the Atlanta Falcons on GSN Mad Mike Sports. So you guys go over there. You know, that's all I got to say about that. And I got 2 words for you. If you don't like that, suck it. Peace.